Okay, so I'm here to talk with a parent of mine that I work with about the therapeutic listening program and what changes she's noticed with her daughter. So, can you tell me a little bit about your daughter, just in terms of how old is she, and if she has a diagnosis or whatnot?
Okay. My daughter is 4. She turned 4 in November. She was diagnosed in March of last year, so it'll be a year ago that she got a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Um,
Okay, and so we started the therapeutic listening probably about 4 months ago in
mhm.
November. It's now March 2014, and so what are the changes that you've noticed in your daughter in terms of using the music program?
um, Probably the biggest changes that we've noticed are her speech. She's more willing to engage in conversation. She's more willing to tell you about her day. She gives you details about her day. That would be the major thing. But she's improved in like her pretend play, just even interacting with her younger sibling. She's more willing to kind of interact with him. Um, she I'm trying to think of the other one.
I think you mentioned her regulation too.
Oh yeah, she's more able to deal with, like, her stimming has gone down quite a bit. She doesn't do it as often. She when she used to come home from school, she'd be like crazy running around the house, and now she doesn't really do that at all. And if she needs to, she knows, like, she'll tell us, like, she'll say, I need to go jump on my trampoline, and so she does it, and then she goes and does her own thing, whereas before she wouldn't even verbalize any of that. She would
Oh,
just,
cool,
yeah. So
cool.
she's and she's able to, I think it's affecting her at school too, because she's able to she's she regulates at school as well. Like, they don't even notice that she's stimming, or if she does stim, and if she
Okay.
does, then she'll cover her ears, or she's able to just tell them why she's doing it, which is awesome because she never used to
Oh,
do that.
neat.
Yeah.
Neat. So she seems to be more aware of what she needs, or her regulation is kind of more stable now,
Yeah.
it sounds like, eh?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how many times do you listen in a day?
We do our best to do twice a day.
Yeah.
Just sometimes life doesn't really allow for that, but I
Yeah.
mean, we definitely, for sure, do once a day. Um, and she really likes it at night. She'll do it after school, but she really likes it at bedtime. It's kind of become a little bit of her routine, and she actually asks for it sometimes.
Oh,
Or
neat.
if, for example, if it's not charged, or she'll say, like, well, Heidi will fix it, or she'll say, but I want like, she gets kind of upset because it's such a part of her routine,
Yeah.
and I feel like she's also falling asleep quicker too.
Yeah, because I think you had said before sleeping it would take her a long time to
Yeah,
wind down and actually fall asleep.
yeah, it would take her a good hour. Like, she's a really good sleeper. She's always been a good sleeper. But in terms of winding down, that's always been an issue. But now it's like 20 minutes, half an hour, done.
Oh, neat.
And she sleeps more soundly, I find. Like, she was never one of those kids that got up a lot, but she would talk a lot in her sleep, or she would cry out sometimes in her sleep. And she doesn't do that. And if we don't do her music for whatever reason at night, sometimes we find, like, she will talk out in her sleep more.
Oh,
So
neat.
just little things that we notice, and you don't notice it right away, but then it kind of just accumulates, and you're like, wow.
Over time, eh?
Yeah.
I think when we first started in November, I think you noticed 2 or 3 weeks in just
Mhm.
some
Yeah.
starting changes, and then
Yeah.
as we went on, you noticed more, right?
Yeah, like, I'll never forget when she first put the headphones on. Like, I had tears in my eyes because she just became like this totally different kid. She just, like, her breathing changed, her posture changed,
Yeah.
even like her eye contact. She just looked right at me and was all calm and just sat and
Yeah,
listened to it.
neat.
Yeah, like, I'll never
Yeah.
forget that because she was, you know, she had just come home from school, and so she was really stimulated. And when we put the music on, she was like, okay.
Neat.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Sheila Frick's therapeutic listening program. That's the program that we've been following for the past 4 months. You also mentioned one time, I don't know, I forget if you were at a birthday or something, and she was just really out of sorts and really overexcited, and then you got the headphones and had her listen, and it really seemed to, you had mentioned it really seemed to help just bring her down.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. When we got home, she was just like, I think she was just totally overstimulated and didn't know what to do with herself. So we put the headphones on and she calmed right down. And then she was more herself after. It was
Awesome.
awesome. And even like doing little games, like my husband and I were playing with her. Um, we played Candyland with the headphones on, and she actually took turns and waited her turn. She was more patient. She was more willing to listen to the instruction. And just as an experiment, because this was early on, I think we had only been doing it for about 3 weeks, we tried to play a different game with her without the headphones,
Yeah.
and she was like, it's my turn. It's like she wasn't willing at all, like to listen or follow the directions or anything. Like she didn't want to have anything to do with it. So then we put the headphones on her, and she actually.
Oh,
So
neat.
she focuses more on like what she needs to do. I find, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And so that was early on, but now would you say, how have the changes carried over? You know, if she's not listening to music, is she more able to cope and adapt and stuff just without the music? Like that was
Oh,
kind of at the first because it really helped to bring her down. But
right.
now, I mean, I'm noticing a change. I don't know her that well. I've seen her periodically to follow up with the music, but
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like she's more able to cope and regulate
Yeah.
um, at the times when she's not listening too.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of it's awesome. Like I will say good things about the program to anybody that has an ear, because it's just like there's little things that happen and you don't even realize, and then when you think back and you look at the big picture, she's like an entirely different kid. You know what I
Awesome.
mean? Like she's like just the fact that she can actually say to us, okay, I need to jump now, or I'm mad, or I'm tired, or she would never have done that before. I mean, she's verbal, but it was always a guessing game. Or if she did have a meltdown, that's another thing. She doesn't have a lot of meltdowns, but when she did, it was like a guessing game as to why.
Yeah.
And now when she does, it's more like she just kind of calms herself down and tells us, like she's able to like she's in touch with her feelings. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah.
She's way more aware of it.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I hear too that when she comes home from school, she's able to tell you what she did that day too now,
Yeah.
kind of in more detail.
Right.
Before it had been kind of
It was,
limited,
yeah, it was
right?
like pulling teeth. We have a communication book set up for her, and it was literally whatever was written in the book is what she told me, and that was it. And I would have to like pull it out of her. And now I'll give her the prompt, or she'll look at her little visual, and she'll just tell me. So
Awesome.
it's pretty cool. And she knows like it's a routine now. Like until she's done talking about it, like for example, we just have her communication book. So she did painting, and until she was done talking about painting, we couldn't move on to her center time because she wasn't done telling me all of the things she did with paint. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before it was like one sentence, one word, done. Okay, like move on, you know?
Oh, neat.
So she seems to care more about what about talking with us and
Yeah, to
letting
tell
us
you.
know. Yeah, and it's
Oh,
awesome because she would never have done that before, ever.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great. Well,
yeah,
really nice to hear of all these changes.
yeah.
Thanks so much for doing this video. I hope that other people can learn from your experiences and check it out.
I hope so too. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks.